No, I'm very optimistic.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Thank
And I
you.
didn't swear once.
Yeah.
So welcome to TweetStreet live stream.
Is banking on everybody starting to agree so that the independence movement falls apart. But you're wrong, because this is just going to make Scottish people dig in even more. Because in Scotland, if somebody tells us we can't do something, we do it. Turn around and say, watch me.
Today. So there's people from various groups. We've got the Claim a Right flag with Trevor. I'm going to go over. Hi, how are you?
Hello, Farah.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Glad to see you.
Thank you.
What have you got to say for today?
Yes, you.
And how are you going to do it?
Do it. We're going to do
What are you?
yourself.
So how do you feel about the people down there telling us that they're sovereign and we're not?
We're a colony.
What, we're a colony. So what does that mean?
That means we're under the thumb.
We're not really. So Scots.
Basically, what they said today, it proves that we're not in a voluntary union. They have got the big jackboot on top of us. That is how we feel.
Well, it's time to put the steel toe on.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I can't tell you.
It's shameful, isn't it?
And it's shameful for a lot of us here. But they brought us to this. I don't blame Westminster, but I blame this Parliament.
Yeah, we had somebody earlier on just say that now that our Scottish MPs need to now walk out of Westminster.
The SMPs having a protest today, and there are only 4 of the MPs going to attend.
That tells you something. Be interesting to find out which ones didn't go.
Well,
Or which ones did go before the
I
point.
tell you ones did go. And what ones wandered along and didn't bother going any further.
Let's see which one signed the Edinburgh Proclamation as well.
Did it?
I think so far only one has signed it.
Yep.
That tells you everything. What money? That tells you everything. Oh, yeah.
That's right.
All the cash.
So Farah, Farah, can you hear me?
Okay. I'll go over to the Scottish Resistance.
Right, okay.
What would you like me to ask them?
No, don't ask.
Don't ask, okay.
Just anything, just their thoughts.
Tracy, how long have you been here today?
Since about 1 o'clock.
I saw one of your pictures posted.
All right.
Who did you see speaking off today?
Sarah.
Who else?
Like, yeah, but he was the main one. He seen us going in, and then he would come out the same way. So that was all good. Like, but I'm freezing now. Like, so
How do you feel?
I peed off, but at the same time knew it was going to happen anyway. Like, but at least it kind of draws a line in the sand. This is where we've got to go to now.
Were you surprised with the decision?
No, I wasn't surprised. Like, I wasn't surprised at all. I was perhaps the colonised bit a wee bit. I was actually surprised they actually kind of actually said it, that we're colonised. But other than that, no, I wasn't surprised at the result. Like, but it's just the way it is. So it's next step.
That's
Right.
it, Tracy. Hi,
The European Court of Justice. And you have to go there and see what happens to there. So other than that, I think either get stuck in with a salvo thing, or we go to the European Court of Justice and see.
So with Salvo, we'll go to the European Court of Human Rights. Yeah.
So something's going to be done. Like
Westminster's not sovereign.
no,
Yeah.
Tracy,
The monarchy's
Tracy,
not sovereign.
Tracy,
Scots are sovereign.
yeah, that's it. So
So today they're
Hey.
trying to tell us that Westminster's sovereign.
no.
How sneaky was that?
It was like we're colonised, but everybody else is sovereign.
And how did you feel when the own First Minister told us that what the UK Supreme Court did was the rule of law and we should obey it?
Yeah,
How did you feel about that?
a bit pissed off, but I didn't expect anything less from them like it. But I suppose they just have to just fucking ignore it and get on with it like it and just do what the people need to do to get independence, and that's it. I think this politicianship, it's not working like the people are going to have to stand up and take Scotland back, and that's the only way of doing it.
By the horns. Take the bull by the horns.
It's like time we kind of waited and waited and waited, and it's just went on and on and on. So now it's time for the Scottish people to stand up and be counted. The politicians didn't seem to be doing the job that we need them to do right now. So it's the people from now on.
Definitely. Roll on, rock and roll.
Yeah, that's it. Power to the people.
Yes.
Just all go to unite. Doesn't matter if you're SNP, you're into Alpha or whatever. You still have to unite this one. Like, yeah.
But it's the people that are going to take it forward.
Working together, making sure that we're all on the same page and we're all working the same way to get the same thing. We all want the same thing.
But do you think the political parties are going to take it forward now that, come on?
No, I don't think. I think that it's, no, I think this is up to the people now.
It's the people that are going to take it forward. I mean,
Absolutely.
in the past, do you think any
Absolutely, Farah.
politician has taken it forward?
I don't think so. I think
Would you like to ask something, Peter?
No, just say hi to Tracy for TweetStreet.
Peter
Thanks
saying
very much for
hi.
commenting.
Peter.
Hi. Hopefully we'll get to
make it your own
get a
life.
wee bit better in person. Right?
Project does now, so it's just getting us out there and getting us on the streets, and getting our independence.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for
anything
coming
to
out
say,
today.
Yes, the same as Tracy says, I think today's result tells us where we stand. It's time for them in there to do their bit and us out here to do our bit.
Definitely.
We can do it parallel, side by side. We all unite, get this done, get them told you're not held prisoner by them no longer.
Definitely. Thank you.
I might have to go and pick some stuff up.
I'll go see if they're set up. Peter.
Aye, while you're in. Has Salvo made their announcement yet, Farah?
Oh, so, yes. Hi.
A lot of editing, maybe.
It's going live.
Oh, is it?
It's going live.
So it's it's no pressure then.
No pressure whatsoever. No. Would you like to say a few words? How you feel about our First Minister saying that it's the rule of law and you have to cow down to the
Has to be
masters?
expected. Has to be expected. Nicola is a nationalist, but she's a devolutionist. And we will
He's
never
a
get
globalist.
independence under.
No.
And listening to Ian Blackford's speech this morning was disappointing to the,
More disappointing than usual.
well, it reminded me very much of his Scotland will not be dragged out of the European Union. It sounded exactly the same. And it's exactly what's going to happen. He will do nothing. All he does is moan in the House of Commons and then sits down.
Maybe
She's a banker.
maybe like 2014, it's another opinion poll is needed. And then they'll just,
Well, that even if the Supreme Court can't rule,
a referendum again, and then they'll just walk away and say, oh, it's not our fault.
even if
What do
the-
you think, Peter?
even if the Supreme Court had ruled, it would have been a case of getting a referendum to decide whether she asks for another referendum. And we should not be involving Westminster.
Do you not think the
Scottish
public have been fooled enough by past politicians, present politicians, and it's time for the people to take charge?
Yeah, without a doubt. And we are sovereign, and we should be taking charge of the whole situation. They don't rule over us. We employ them.
Yeah.
I
They
think we
work for us, so we can sack them.
Yes, exactly. You've reached a review, and they need to try harder, and they're not going to. So we need to change it. We need to change the whole system.
Any more words?
No, I'll just start swearing. No, I'm not going to start swearing.
Yes.
Do you want to say something
More to Alistair, darling. Have you spent your 30 pieces of silver yet? He's one of the biggest traders in Scotland.
Anybody else? Any messages for anybody else?
Yeah. Gordon Brown. You're an old fool. You allowed yourself to be conned. Don't allow yourself to be conned again. And Alex Rowley. Alex, it's time to come off the fence. Stop keeping your powder dry.
Oh, there you go. That was a wee.
Trevor, would you like to say something? Trevor's waving our flag. Claim of right. Salvo. Name your shite, use to claim of right, as Trevor is saying.
Good, good. Will Sarah be making an announcement after she's finished her sandwich?
Looking for Dave. Where is he? Let's find Dave.
Hi everybody that's joining us online. Hi Annie, you're the only one that's spoken so far, so you're the only one I know that's there. I know there's others there, but you're the only one that can confirm. Annie's saying hi to you as well, Farah.
Hi, hi, how are you? I'm good. I am, it's live. What would you like to say?
We're with Independence Live. Looking forward to this event tonight and across the country. Bad news of the result this morning.
Bad news? What do you think? What do you think about Westminster saying they're sovereign?
I think that's atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. That's why we want independence. That's why we're here.
Good.
Yes.
I don't think that's our stage, Peter.
No, I don't think it is. I think you'll need to get around the other way. I think that'll be for this evening's event, be the sounds of it. Go between.
I have to say, it's freezing out here. Maybe it's my age.
Well, I'm in a way, I'm glad I'm stuck indoors, to be fair. But for this occasion.
We're looking for
What
sure.
What family is that?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Do you know what to do? Just a 5-minute thing for about 2 minutes for Peter.
No, I can't.
Oh, just okay. Well, hide your face. Hide your face.
What do you want me to say?
How do you feel about right? Okay, just hide your face. Cover your hand. Right, that's it. Okay. Did you hear that, Peter?
Sovereign, the
No.
Supreme Court, I don't recognise their decision. They should have used the Scottish court, and that's all about it. And I'm here today. Too many children in Scotland have died as a result of this union, and I'm here for them. Every single one of them.
And what about our First Minister? Doing a curtsy here. Our First Minister who's said that she has to respect the decision, you know.
No, she needs to resign. She needs to resign. I'm not happy with her either. No, I want to go. For the good of Scotland, she needs to go. And I'm actually really quite upset. I won't say it. But then I didn't expect anything different than what's happening. You know?
The mood of a nation, to be fair. Thanks very much for your comment.
Yep, you are.
Please don't put me on live.
You did.
It's going out live. On the edit, I'll cut that out.
Okay.
£250.
Hi, Annie. Oh, Annie, how are you? Hello, Annie.
I'm just telling, thanking Senior. Oh, right, good singing, good singing. Listen, Wings Over Scotland. Women more released.
Oh, but that's a fine day there, Annie. That is Salvo. I thought something else there, you know.
Wow.
Salvo.
Wings Over Scotland. Women more released.
Oh, and I've got some
Right.
In my bag.
And
Anyway,
how are you? And what would you like to say, Annie? What the hell happened this morning, Annie? What did they do? Did they just say that they were sovereign?
I'm speechless. We just have to get there and thinking, well,
And what did the First Minister say?
oh, I've not seen that yet.
Oh, she said we have to respect the rule of law.
On the telly.
Yes.
Aye.
I left the
Aye.
house in Dundee at blinking 11 o'clock this morning, so I've not seen anything.
Oh, well, she says, so what do you say to that?
Right, we'll sort that out. We'll sort that out once the dust settles. Right, I'm away to visit my other pals. Nice to see you. Right.
Hi, Farah. How are you? How are you? Don't hide, don't hide, don't hide. Where's your Carmen Miranda hat?
Sorry?
Where's your Carmen Miranda hat?
My Carmen, no one.
You had that, I would have worn that today.
That was for celebration, the Carmen
But
Miranda.
we are celebrating because they've answered one of our questions.
You're
We're
right.
colonised.
You're right, it's good. Yeah. No, we did a live thing this morning on a live stream. Farah and me and TweetStreet.
So yeah, so you see, this is
You're doing it.
yeah, it's Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Hi,
Yeah.
Frankie. How are you doing? It's good to see you with the attire.
Streaming and that, right?
Tell us why you're here, Frank.
I don't know because I'm really, really tired. I do it in song, really.
Go on. Sing us
yeah.
a song.
I'm here, just here. Yeah, you're best not to ask me because I don't think marches achieve anything. But I think we need action, not marching and waving flags and talking about it. You know, we need actual action.
I'm all for that. Are we all for action, Peter?
Absolutely. The time for talk is over. It's,
Yeah.
we need to start.
And over to who's next? Leah. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
So we're live streaming here.
Okay.
Any words to say?
Yeah, well, I think it's irrelevant what the Supreme Court has done today. It's also illegal because it's not recognizing the sovereignty of the Scottish people and our constitution, which is still a document that is alive and well. So I think what we need to do now is forget the politicians. They've let us down, and take the power back into our own hands where it's always been, and organize and create a liberation movement and a new modern convention of the estates of the people to take back our sovereignty and to finally end this union. I mean, enough is enough. We've given the politicians a chance. They've utterly failed us. Now the people have to take things into their own hands.
Brilliant. I was just thinking about the First Minister late this morning, saying that we have to respect the rule of law.
Well, then, but not English law. That's where she's wrong. So why she even went to the UK, which is an English Supreme Court, and not the Court of Session, Well, I think we know why, because, you know, devolution is a creature of the Union. And Nicola Sturgeon has her advisors handpicked by Whitehall. So she actually works for Whitehall. She's not working for the Scottish people. It's absolutely clear. And we've given them a chance. And I think now, if people were suspicious of the SNP before, they should definitely be so now. And no political party is going to save us. We have to do it ourselves. We've had the power all along, and we need to activate it.
Does it make you wonder why we got devolution in the first place when we could have been handed independence from the get-go?
Well, I think that our constitution has been hidden from us for such a long time. And what we really have to do is make people aware of what has been taken from us or concealed and suppressed by England. And so even though we're not technically a colony, we're a de facto colony of England. And that's what colonies do, or colonizers do to their colonized, is they suppress their history, their language, their constitution, their culture, which is exactly what's happened in Scotland. And so we need to take that back.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
Farah, if anybody wants to see the video, Farah.
That was
that was who? Leah Gunn?
Leah Gunn, yeah.
Yeah. No, if anybody wants to see the video or the clip of Nicola Sturgeon talking about respecting the rule of law, I've got it ready to play. So if you ask anybody and they want to see it, then I can play it and let them see. You can let them see and hear it. Okay. Farah, did you hear that?
Sorry?
I'm saying if anybody wants to see or hear the video of Nicola Sturgeon talking about respecting the rule of law, I've got it ready to play in the background. So if anybody hasn't seen it yet and they want to see it, just I'll put it on for them. Okay.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks. I'm trying to find Dave Llewellyn. See where he is.
Right.
Have a wee walk about. Find out. Oh, it's up there.
The big
We're
man
having a
usually
separate
storms out.
stage.
The big man usually storms out anyway, does he know?
On the grassy bit. Oh. See it?
Yep.
Oh.
So thanks to everybody that's joining us online. Jacqueline for bed, who's unwell. SS, Tracy, Annie, and
It's a live streamer.
others. Tories are cunts, my favourite handle. Hiya. I know that's apt. However, that is the name of the person on YouTube. That's a handle on YouTube. Tories are cunts. I'm not just saying that, although I agree with it. All right, so there's a wee stage getting set up there. Good, good. I would have it on the same level as everybody else, rather than a level above. That's just my opinions, but you tend to see that though. See, whenever you go to rallies and protests, people standing on stages rather than in amongst the crowd. I go and say to Dave. Say to Porty as well. Porty's in the hat there. Tell Porty we're on TweetStreet. To the left. Aye, the guy with the hat and the scarf. Porty. Porty.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Porty,
Would you like to say a few words?
You're on TweetStreet.
You're live streaming, so.
Are
Uh-huh.
On
we?
TweetStreet.
I prefer that if there was a wee bit more weight to people here.
I think they're all kind of scattered about, and it's cold and.
Yeah, it is definitely cold. It's definitely cold, but let's see what happens later on.
Well, we're live streaming, so this is going live. So people will see it.
Right.
And it's always, these things always start off small, but they get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Aye, aye.
You know,
Aye, well,
we just need somebody to hold the hand and move these things forward, you know, just to give people hope.
right. Well,
So how do you feel about Westminster declaring their sovereigns, getting Tony Blair's UK Supreme Court telling us they're Westminster
I'm a
sovereign?
sovereign Scot. English law, they do not rule over me. As far as I'm concerned. I've got no time for it at all.
And what about the First Minister and saying that we would bow down
She's
to...
got to go. She's got to go as far as I'm concerned. She really has got to go. She's led us up a garden path for too long. Her time's up, but she's got to go.
I mean,
quite simply.
I mean, we've had people look into Scottish sovereignty and the claim of right. I mean, Willie McRae, and we all know what happened there. So why do you think in the past none of our people weren't educated about, and we were just handed devolution on a plate?
I mean, I forget. Well, exactly. It's been all hidden. It's all hidden from us. And I mean, I can only speak for myself. History-wise, at school, I was never taught about Scottish history. It was all English history, you know. And you realise it now, but at the time you're too young. You're too young, too naive to understand what's going on. But I certainly do now. That's for sure.
And moving forward, we need to show people. So how moving forward?
We need the people on the streets. We need feet on the streets. You know, they're getting away with far too much. Yeah, throwing the wool over our eyes, basically.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a few, as I was saying, there's only a few of them in this building. And how many of us are there in our homes, in our streets?
It's sorry for swearing, but there's too many shitbags that represent the Scottish National Party in there. Yeah.
And the power's been laid to them.
They're being dictator. She's a dictator. You know, if you grow a spine and stand up to her, they know what's happening. They know what's happening, but they're sitting on this and collecting their salary. It's as simple as that. They're letting the Scottish people down.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Corey.
How are you?
Is it?
Yeah, it's live.
Aye.
All right, guys.
All right,
Sad
Corey.
days. What?
Oh no, but come on.
What?
We know what happened though. We know which way it was going to go, did we not?
Oh, of course,
I
of
mean,
course.
do we care? Do you care what the UK Supreme Court has to say?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Contradicting themselves as usual.
But I mean, this was created by Tony Blair, the UK Supreme Court, a man who lied about the weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Right. So a court, something that doesn't even rule over Scottish people, you know, because we have our own law society of Scotland. We have our own Scots laws. So something that doesn't even rule over Scotland, Scots laws, doesn't rule over us. You have our own laws, own courts, has no jurisdiction over us, and suddenly
exactly.
we have a Lord Advocate running down there and saying,
Court that are basically stating that we're not a colony, but we don't have democracy. You know what I mean? Says it all.
So they used Quebec and Kosovo as a marker to say, well, we're using these, and going by that, we're saying that you're not colonised.
Yeah, and they get out their large brush and they broadly sweep over that we don't have any democracy, but we're not a colony.
No democratic rights. You can't become independent. You don't have a choice, but you're not a colony either. You don't have free will.
Exactly. You know what I mean, a total farce, which we should never have went down that road in the first place. But,
yeah, exactly.
So, as I said, sad days. But...
And the lady in waiting has decided that we have to abide by their rules. Who also has a legal background, I may say.
She's kicking the can further and further down the road.
The judiciary corrupt as hell. English and Scots. Well, you don't have English Scots. No, I mean, it's the British judiciary.
But we're not bound to them. We have our own claim of right 1689, which is still standing.
People of Scotland are sovereign. Just remember that.
Yeah.
Claim of right 1689 still stands.
Try and get a hold of Dave.
There seems to be quite a few platforms today.
Oh, well, hopefully there'll be different ones with all with different messages, know what I mean?
You'll have to speak out louder because I can't hear you.
I'm saying that there'll be different ones with different, all with different messages today because of the ruling. Obviously, Salvo, then you've got ones coming out later on. So there'll be different platforms, as you say, the obviously different people covering different parts of the event.
This is the people's platform, you know.
Aye, we'll go and
This
stand
is
on
the
it.
people's platform. We don't even have a marquee.
Aye, go and stand on it and get Dave Llewellyn to give us a couple of words. And go back and ask Frank to give us a couple of words once you've spoke to Dave Llewellyn, because we weren't live streaming when Frank spoke.
This is how the people of Scotland, the sovereign Scots, do it, where we don't even have a marquee. This is.
Well, we're waiting. I'm going to show that video of Nicola Sturgeon. One of the viewers online asked to said that they would like to see it, although it will only make them feel better. However, we'll put it on. So we'll put that on. And, oh, where is it? That's the wrong one.
What do you have to say?
I had the fire lighters across at Petticoat Bay. Got the fire started.
Sentiment was echoed nearly 60 years later by the Calman Commission, which described the UK as a voluntary union and partnership. And it was reinforced in 2014 by the Smith Commission, which made clear that nothing in its report prevented Scotland becoming an independent country should the people of Scotland so choose. What today's ruling tells us, however, is that the Scotland Act does not, in fact, uphold that long-held understanding of the basis of the relationships that constitute the UK. On the contrary, it shatters that understanding completely. Let's be absolutely blunt. A so-called partnership in which one partner is denied the right to choose a different future, or even to ask itself the question, cannot be described in any way as voluntary or even a partnership at all. So this ruling confirms that the notion of the UK as a voluntary partnership of nations, if it ever was a reality, is no longer a reality.
Right, so there you go. That was what the First Minister says. Oh. So we'll just put that right back to there later on. Oh. Right, Farah,
Scotland is
somebody else.
Riding Starmer. No, no. Say that. What I did was a trade. I tried
For those of you watching online, well, Farah's getting something. I'm going to give you something to noise a bit more. So,
The thing is, I hope good and feel like, you know, it's going to hit a bigger audience.
try that one again. Oh, yeah, the sound.
Getting all these folks in here. What are them all doing?
All of them down here.
Put them all down and then she never started. They've all wandered back up. Oh, look at the Union Jags.
Oh, for
With
God's
Scotland
sake.
in the middle of it. Oh, Jesus.
Do you see the Union Jacks, Peter?
Oh, no, I do not. I'm showing the photo online, a wee clip that's
With Scotland in them?
it looks ridiculous. This is what we are like
Hello, how you doing?
getting governed. This is will be the monarch that will go into position. With Cyril Ramaphosa. Again, this is the.
There's Union Jackers there with the
Top.
over there.
Welcome. Evsheni, Dumela, Swabona, Molo, Molweni, Nda. Mr. President, my wife and I are delighted to welcome you to Buckingham Palace this evening. Of course, that relationship goes back centuries. While there are elements of that history which provoke profound sorrow, it is...
Hold on, we'll go back to that. So, the Tory party are out by the looks of it, Farah.
You know what he's saying. He's telling keep your heads, ignore the provocation, and remember why we're here today. And it is to be pushing for independence, not to be responding to a very small group. So everyone, please keep the heat. Thank you.
Do you see that?
Aye, is that
wow.
Is that the Scottish Tories?
Let's go over for straight talk.
Right, aye, go over for try and get a decent position to hear what Sarah's got to say, what the approach has got to be.
I will.
Hello. Hello. It's the film line.
Hello, 1, 2.
I take it grouse speakers over there as well.
Sorry, I know that's what she said.
This takes me back to the day when all my dreams fade away. My sunset time, please don't cry.
That's deliberate.
On the stage, it's like a flood.
That's deliberate. That's from the
I
political
can't
party.
talk, I can't breathe.
Who's that singing, Farah?
Peter,
Yes.
the other side have left the stage. They've deliberately turned the music on live. The music's on live. So we can't hear her. We can't hear her talk.
That's a wee bit underhand, isn't it?
So that side of the music on live.
Oh well, so when is Sarah going to speak?
I would call that sabotage.
again, yeah, I can hear it. It's coming across loud and clear. But I don't understand why they're not allowing people to get their voice heard.
Can we go on that stage and do it?
Oh, that's better. We want to get the car home.
No, we want to go on that stage and do it. Why don't we go on that stage and do it? No, we put this stage, but since they've turned the music on, we can go on that stage.
Yeah.
Let's go on that stage and do it. That's bloody shite. Yeah, they're sovereign Scots. Turn the music off.
Yeah, I thought they listened to me.
That's bloody cheeky.
Banshees and Venice Erin.
That's bloody cheeky. I think we should do the over there. I don't think so. I think we should go over there and do it.
Just what the stage is. There's TV cameras and everything coming from the original.
What do you think, Peter? Do you not think it's bloody cheeky?
Aye, well, again,
Complete sabotage by Miss Riddick.
there could be. There should be cooperation, especially if they're not going to be speaking until after 5 o'clock.
Sheena's gone over there asking them to turn their music down nicely. But do you think they're going to do it?
Well, hopefully they should be cooperating. Everybody's got a right to have their voice, Farah. That's the thing. Then they shouldn't be denying people that.
I think we should just go up there and use their stage. That's what I would do. If you don't ask, you don't get.
Well, again, look, if the message has got to be delivered before other people are due to come on, again, everybody should be working together. We're on the same boat here. All the sovereign Scots are on the same boat.
Well, you see, Salvo's to get sovereign Scots message out, not the politicians' message out. You know.
Exactly, but we're all in the same boat. Sovereign Scots are all in the same boat. It doesn't make any difference whether you're Salvo, whether you're Alba, whether you're SNP, whether you're Green, whether you're Labour, Tory, Lib Dem, or none, or no party. You know, it doesn't make any difference. We're sovereign Scots, and no everybody that supports a political party, no everybody that supports independence, supports a political party, or is a member of. So everybody's got a right to have their voice heard.
Did we storm the stage? Who's going to join me to storm the stage? Over there. Storm the stage. Let's storm the stage. Come on, storm the stage. I think we should storm the stage.
What stage? That one over there?
That one over there.
Storm
the stage.
Totally capable of storming that stage. You know?
Yeah, and dark and stormy. They don't call me dark and stormy for nothing.
The revolution starts.
No!
Those
are dates are nothing compared to that.
Yeah.
Storm the stage, I say, storm the stage.
Right, Farah.
Everybody over here now.
Farah, put the camera back on yourself for a wee second.
You carry that stage.
What?
No, you're on it. You're live.
Yes, we're live. Yes, Peter.
Right, I hear you chatting away there about storming the stage, etc., etc. It's good. I love your energy.
We're going to turn the stage if we don't get on.
Yeah, of course, right. She's leading the way.
Aye.
I'll be right behind her. Good, that's the way to do it.
That's it. It starts here today. It starts here.
That's something else I don't like.
We're coming. Not on camera, not I said we
Thank
should
John, yeah.
take over. Don't give it to Frank. This is oh, we're start. Where's the hey.
Please for any delays, folk. We're live streaming. So.
Okay, I'll hand over to Yannick.
Oh, right. I don't know this yet. Right. If you want independence, you don't have to always be in an independence party. You could be non-political. And this is what Salvo is. It's non-political. So you could be in the SNP, you could be in Alba, you could be in ISP or Scotia, you could be in anything you want, but all you want is to be in Salvo. So as we can do the liberation of Scotland. So join Salvo and do liberation of Scotland, and then we'll send it to wherever Sarah says we'll send it to, because I haven't got a study where it's going, because I'm not very good at remembering things, right? So this is what we want. We all want the same thing. We want Scotland to be independent so as we could look after our poor, our disabled, our children, our whole country. Scotland should be looking after everybody instead of just putting up with what Westminster tells us what we want. And I'm just getting really fed up with it. I've trooped around the streets for years and years and nothing's happening. And it's about time we stood up and fight for our own country. So anybody who's listening to this, fight for your country! Freedom!
On your cell, Annie.
What was that like, David? A lot of us.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? I'm just going to say a couple of things really. My name's Eileen. I've been in Salvo since it was founded about 6 months ago.
Speak up, Eileen.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. My name's Eileen. I've been a member of Salvo since it was founded just over 6 months ago, and we have been fighting hard to bring the people together to try and pass on the message. We've had enough of politicians. I myself have been a member of the SNP. I've been a member of Alba, and it's just too much now. They're having a laugh at us. They're not listening to the people of Scotland. And so we are, as Salvo, are going around the country trying to drum up people to pass the message and to get them to join the liberation movement. If you haven't already got a leaflet, please pick up leaflets from us. I've brought a lot today. We've got to think now of the years, the hundreds of years of suffering in this country. Think of the people who have died fighting for freedom, and then, well, enough is enough. We've had it now. And we want no more of politicians. It's the hands of the people now. Just think of the people that have been cleared for the Highlands. Think of our language, which has been deliberately snuffed out. Think of the wealth that we have as a nation. Yet there's so much poverty around us. That is so wrong, so wrong. Well, we've had enough, and we're going to get the people to make the decisions in the future. But we need you all. We need thousands of signatures. As Sarah has already said, we will then have the right to go to the United Nations and take it to higher court. So please join us. Pass the word around. And please pick up leaflets before you go. Take as many as you want, give them to your friends, and join salvo.scot. And through that, you can join the Scottish Liberation Movement.
please do that now. We've got also one more thing.
Read that out. Just read that out. Read something.
For those of you who weren't present on the 1st of September, I think it was, at the English Embassy, not very far from here, we read out the proclamation on that day, and we'd like you all to sign that at liberation.scot. I'll read part of it to you. Oh, right, okay, we'll read it all out. This Edinburgh Proclamation states that the nation of Scotland has enshrined in its constitution from the Declaration of the Clergy of 1310 and the Declaration of our Growth in 1320 to the claim of right of 1689, the supremacy of the Scottish people over all other authorities of state, from which it is clear that the English principle of parliamentary sovereignty is foreign and is irreconcilable and unlawful in Scotland. Embedded in the claim of right, our constitution provides that we, the people, lend our power to the government. So that's lend our power to the government to serve the common good and to uphold our rights and interests. We may withdraw this loan. Through the Convention of the States, a National Assembly comprised of the communities of Scotland, we may remove any government that fails to serve us or which overrules the express will of the people. The Westminster government has grossly and repeatedly violated the provisions of the claim of right, a contractual obligation ratified by the nations of Scotland and England in the Treaty of Union of 1706. It has ruled that Scotland, not as an equal partner in a political union, but as a colony. It has thwarted the democratic will of the people and disposed of our assets to enrich the privileged few. It has moved to end our ancient sovereignty by replacing it with Westminster parliamentary sovereignty by clause 38 of the Withdrawal Act. Yet the source of legitimate power in Scotland remains and will always remain the people of Scotland. Therefore, to halt the eradication of our sovereignty, the abuse of our protected rights, and the plunder of our territories and resources, and reaffirming our lawful authority, we echo the Irish Declaration of 1960. And to end, we declare the right of the people of Scotland to the ownership of Scotland and to an unfettered control of Scottish destinies, to be sovereign and indefeasible. The long usurpation of that right by a foreign government has not extinguished that right, nor can it ever be extinguished, except by the destruction of the Scottish people. This is what you're signing when you sign the declaration on the Scottish Liberation Movement. So please, I encourage you to do that, to encourage your friends, your colleagues, your children to do the same.
Well done, Farah. The signal is a wee bit distorted, although the sound was coming, we could make it what was getting said. So, well done.
The proclamation read were the same words that were used in 1916 in the section that were forced of us by Irish players. And you know what? I took another stage here for the North of Scotland. I think I think politicians will not do things so that manage to deal with. We can deal fast, we can deal quick. We can basically end it
in the ICJ. This is before that was 100 years of ICJ. We've been going for 6 months now. We've been going for 6 months. We started off with 5 members. We're in 6 weeks with 200 members. We've now got 3,500, and there's only 4,000 in deliberation room. As far as that's concerned, we're told get this 100,000. We will be understanding. We've got friends in foreign governments that'll be willing to help us get something together, because we're not actually a state that they can get representation themselves, but we can get other people to do it for us. And you'll be aware that there was a UN committee 20 years ago that the work that we're now benefits from because they made some contacts with the United Nations. That judged that the statements are rather important. One, he says that Britain had said in the Kosovo case that everybody had the right to self-determination. And then somebody said Kosovo was a colony. I don't know whether it's geography. Kosovo was never a colony. Kosovo was probably the split up Yugoslavia. So really, I've absolutely no idea. But then he said something else. It's not like Scotland as a colony. I don't know if you've actually read the definition. The definition of what the United Nations call a colony. And I tell you what, we're actually worse than a colony. Because colonies have got an instant way out. They can ask to be colonisation list, and there's no problem. That's why Westminster won't give us an answer. That's why they want to keep it all airy-fairy. It's a voluntary union. They said it. But we're not going to stick to the terms. We're not Chagos. At the end of the day, they're doing the same in Chagos. They're doing international law there so that they can keep an American airbase up there. I'm not going to get away with that because there's a person on the doorstep. Because I don't know if you watched the video 3 weeks ago. But there are serious questions. There are serious questions to be asked about whether William Bond, this guy that just know him, was actually ever at his time. He said his first parliament was a legal parliament. He claimed parliamentary sovereignty by the Bill of Rights, which Leader Hill said that the Joanna Cherry case was the Bill of Rights 1698, 1688. It wasn't. It didn't get Royal Assent until the 13th of December, 1689, 9 months after the claim of right had been put. Because at the end of the day, William Lawrence couldn't call it Parliament because the previous time took the Great Seal of England and threw it at the Thames so that he couldn't call it Parliament. And every other Parliament has been called in England, either as part of England or UK, has been called by the certain things right back to 1215 and the Magna Carta. You want to call a colony, you want to call a Parliament. But what happens here is the Great Seal of England, now the Great Seal of UK, is the king, the UK calls the Parliament, and so he calls the House of Lords. And the House of Lords then call Collins under the Great Seal of UK. He couldn't do that in 1698, because when James heard that William was coming, he said to make attempts to do it. So what happened was William's first year in Parliament, was in Parliament, he called a convention, and you'll all be aware what happened 6 years ago in the Regina Miller case about the European Union, what they said about the Seal Convention. I can remind you, a convention does not have the legal force of an act of Parliament, which explains why the Bill of Rights that they call the Parliamentary Sovereignty Law is actually a bill itself. And if it's not, they can't have it because the claim of right was signed and William Ellis was king in Scotland before it was legally king in England. But they all lied about it. Yeah, and we've got proof here. We've got proof here. If they want to start getting iffy about things, we're going to make a lot of noise and a lot of things about the whole thing of legality. Basically, with the parliamentary sovereignty, they're allowed to take whatever they want that day. And if it just work tomorrow, they can change it. Instead of having a time machine, you can buy and change it when you want. It's bollocks. It's absolute bollocks. We've 4 years ago, I'm going to finish that. 4 years ago, so maybe I've got a petition in Westminster, and that petition said the treaty union is not going to fit for purpose and dissolve the union. And I got a response back to Andrea Alexam, who was leader of the House. And leader of the House is quite an important position. It's a higher position than that judge this morning. Because if he believes in parliament, the leader of the House is as high as it gets. And I got this letter to Andrea Alexam that said, Westminster can't do anything about this because it's Scottish people who decide. And it was the best deal you ever had. That's still ready to go. And Stalbo have now gone from 5 people to over 3,000. And we're going to keep growing because shortly, the people who say that we were supreme about this are starting to, we're digging stuff up. We're digging stuff up more than the whole SNP government, all the squads, and all the civil servants. We're doing that ourselves, volunteers, and we're getting it. And every single one of us are welcome to come and give us a hand to do that. The more we put them out into the light, the more we shrink away. Thanks for coming.
Yay!
Right, apologies folks, the sound there at times was a wee bit distorted and we couldn't make it out.
Can I do my big school then?
Aye, you're still on the camera, Dave. So Farah, somebody on.
So if there's anybody else that would like to say something before we go join the main rally or go move our cars, get a massive parking fine. Hi.
Join liberation.scot.
We've got to get the message to politicians. You know, we've got to stop going around in circles. We've got to stop pretending that what Westminster tells us is legal is legal. Just something to take away with you. Not only have they just given out what in Scotland is an illegal claim to sovereignty over the Scottish people, but they have been illegally plundering the resources of Scotland, which has remained a sovereign territorial nation. And we're going to get them back. We're going to get the resources back. we're going to do our best to do something about that. But it's long since time that our Scottish politicians stop tugging their forelocks to a government that is criminal. It's long since time they started pretending that Scots law is just some airy-fairy idea, and not 1,000 years of development of what makes us Scottish, of what we are entitled to expect as people in Scotland in terms of rights and in terms of liberties. To pretend that there's only one kind of legal, and that's the kind that is trumped up by Westminster and changed every time it needs to change it in order to keep us in our place. This is not a legal government in Scotland. It has broken Scots law. It has violated the Scottish Constitution. It is not a legal government. And its claim that it can ignore the express will of the Scottish people is constitutionally unlawful in Scotland. It is time, therefore, for our Scottish politicians to stop talking about having to do things legally when they're dealing with criminals. You don't negotiate with mafia bosses to do things the way those mafia bosses want you to.
and pretend that that's going about it legally. It's time to stand up and say, this is what's lawful in Scotland. And you, Westminster, and your Supreme Court are in violation of our law. And we're the ones who are going to have to make them do that. And if they don't, well, we will. And we'll be doing that anyway. So I think we'll call it a day unless there's anybody else willing to come and stand in the hot seat. And those of us who are not parked in places where we would get massive fines might want to go and fill out the ranks of the rally over here. Otherwise, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming in early on this freezing day. And you'll be hearing a lot more from us. Take care, guys.
Hooray! Thank you, Farah.
Well done. Farah, just to let you know, somebody on YouTube has SS on YouTube, thanks very much. Mark McLaughlin of the Times, Angus Robertson has said any and all indie parties will be included in the majority in a plebiscite election, so not just the SNP. Did you hear that?
Really?
Farah.
I can barely hear you.
Right, I was just checking. So a comment has been made. So Mark McLaughlin of the Times says Angus Robertson has said any and all indie parties will be included in the majority in a plebiscite election, so not just the SNP. Robertson also said we'd have a referendum next year, knowing full well it would be scuppered. Aye, well, there is well, that was two different people, right? So that's what we're hearing for folk online. Thanks to both SS and Jacqueline online. So what's the crowd like gathering over at the other gathering?
It's very much the same.
Aye.
Just like
because there's folk messaging online to say that they're going to Glasgow.
Hold on.
Aye, good.
Hold on, let me just turn the camera right.
All right, Dave.
Speak to Dave.
How are you doing, big man? How are you?
I can hardly hear you, man. There's a lot of noise in the background, and there's one with Union flags and one with legislation.
Well, I don't know if it's where you are stoning. Doing all right, mate. Doing all right. Are you joining us for Clans, Myths and Legends on St Andrew's Day or on St Andrew's Night?
Absolutely. I'm bringing my new granddad with the 9.5 fingers. It's a rather interesting story.
I know, bad, Craig. What about yourself, mate?
You see it all, when you see it all, nothing much changes.
We're going to do the game changer. How was the game changer?
There's a few game changers in the post.
Did you see that, Peter? Total Sabotage playing the music.
Yes.
Again, you expect people to
go into the city big secret.
What? That was total sabotage. We were totally going to storm that stage.
Well, by the way, I've been told, Tracy online says, Farah, I dare you to storm the stage.
Well,
that's what she said, and she said that you don't knock back a dare. So and then somebody else
next time I'll do it with Tracy. Storm the stage.
Oh, who's this? Mr. Wisher.
Hello, Peter.
Did you see that, Tom?
Yeah. I forgot Wisher was supposed to do the speech.
Right. Can I say good night? It's good night from me.
Right. Good night, everybody. Right, Farah, thanks very much, and I'll catch up with you.
I really appreciate it. Right. See you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye for now. Bye for now. Right, so folks, aye, that was that. Farah was live at Holyrood and got to hear Sarah Sawyer speaking. There's other events on and you can catch up with online. For the people that are still with us online, thanks very much for tuning in. There is going to be a Clans, Myths and Legends on St Andrew's Day or St Andrew's Night for 7 o'clock onwards. If people want to get involved in the Zoom meeting, we will be streaming it. However, the Zoom meeting means if the stream goes down, then you'll still get to take part in the Clans, Myths and Legends, where we'll be talking about Scottish clans, myths and legends. And we'll have hopefully a gathering that represents Scotland from pretty much from top to bottom, or from bottom to top, whatever way you want to look at it. So if you would like to get involved, then just let me know. Get in touch with us either by DM on Twitter. Mind to like and subscribe to the page so that you get alerts for any of our future broadcasts. And thanks everybody for tuning in this evening. I'm sorry that the news is so disappointing, but we need to stand up for ourselves now. It's up to us. And that's the only way we're going to get it, really, is if we stood up and says, well, no. So it's up to us. So thanks to everybody for tuning in. And let's go forward with a wee bit of pride and stand up for our country. For TweetStreet Scotland Occupied, the satirical Salter, the Cinnamon Bridgie, aka Peter, and the Sovereign Scot. Good night.